What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and there are so many great options for pocket pistols, light carry, and deep concealment. And a question I get asked all the time is, should you upgrade your Glock 42, or do you still think your Glock 42 is potentially one of the best pocket pistols out, even with the newer releases of the Bodyguard 2.0 from Smith & Wesson and the Ruger LCP Max, obviously, from Ruger. Now, one thing I want to say is they all have great characteristics to them, and they're all very different. And that's what's great about it, is each person can pick one up and decide what they like the best. Now, a lot of people are going to say objectively, the Bodyguard 2.0 is the best. There's no other answer. It's the greatest. But I would say, hold back on some of the judgment. There's a lot of great things about each handgun. First off, let's just go through the capacity. The Glock 42, you 6+1, 7+1, and 8+1. But in order to achieve 7+1 and 8+1, you either have to use mag guts or a larger base plate. And in self-defense, 3.5 rounds, 3.5 yards, in 3.5 seconds is typically how it goes. You rarely, if ever, ever see a video of someone in a self-defense encounter and the defender runs out of ammo. You rarely ever see them say, oh, shoot, I got to reload or whatever. It's rare. And a lot of people carry revolvers still, 5-shot, 6-shot revolvers. So being 6+1, 7+1, or 8+1, you're not out of the ball game. Having something on you is 72% of the battle. The Bodyguard 2.0 comes at 10+1 or 12+1. Both mags come with the handgun. And the Ruger LCP Max comes in 10+1 or 12+1. One of my Ruger LCP Max only came with one mag, and it was a 10+1. This one right here came with a 10+1 and a 12+1 magazine. So I actually really like that, right? So these basically have double the capacity. Now, honestly, Glock, hire me. I would literally walk in the room, just tell you what everyone else is thinking. Make a gosh darn Glock 42X, a Glock 42 2.0, a Glock 42 Max. Come on. Do it. Give us 8 or 9 or even 10+1. Make the grip a little thicker to support your polymer mags. We don't care. Give it to us. That would be the #1 selling handgun on the market right now. The thing would fly off shelves. That thing would go crazy. With all the craziness going on, more people carry backup guns nowadays. More people want smaller firearms. That would be absolutely huge. Anyways, let's compare them real quick. 6+1 versus 10+1 on the left. The Bodyguard is a little bit thinner in every dimension, a little bit shorter up top, but it also has a shorter barrel, a little thinner. Then the Ruger LCP Max 10+1 as well, all of 380. Looks about the same width as the Glock, a little bit thinner up top though. And then once again, the barrel is going to be longer for the Glock. Now, the Glock has its own benefits, right? It's a Glock, so you get Glock reliability. Things I really like about the 42 is the finish. The finish is perfect for a pocket carry because I've never even seen a speck of rust on any of my Glocks, and that's huge. The downfall of the Glocks are there is no texturing whatsoever. None. So for people with, who carry these smaller handguns that think they're snappy, you want as much to grab onto as possible, and there's barely any texturing on these handguns. But a $20 pair of grips should do the trick for you. These typically run between $350 and $400, so not a bad price point at all, especially for a Glock. Now, comes with terrible sights right out of the box, but you're not going to be using sights with a pocket pistol, so everyone can just relax. But just go ahead and upgrade them if you want. It also allows you to get whatever sight picture you want, right? So that is a benefit, but you do have to pay a little extra money. And the trigger is really nice on this handgun for a pocket pistol. Really nice for a pocket pistol, sitting at about 5.5 pounds. So I really do like the Glock 42. It has its own benefits. The Bodyguard 2.0 has a very low bore axis, and your hand chokes up really high on that handgun. When I hold a Glock 19, my bottom of my pinky is right at the end of the Glock 19. So they did a great job at shortening everything up top and allowing you to get a really high purchase for minimal recoil and still get the most amount of fingers, about 2.5, 2.25 on this handgun. The Glock 42 has the least amount of recoil out of all of it, so for a lot of people, that's a deal breaker. They don't care about capacity. They want the least amount of recoil in such a small package. So Glock 42 wins that battle. Then the Bodyguard has great texturing. Texturing all over the frame, all up here, literally everywhere has texturing. Even the trigger guard, everything has texturing. That's a good thing for controlling recoil and shooting fast. These are backup guns, get off me guns, that whole sort of thing. These can be also used as your main everyday carry, which I know people, they'll throw a 6+1 you know, Diamondback DB380 in their pocket, and they'll call it good every day. Carry a backup mag, 6+1 for 7 rounds. They feel good to go. So a lot of people live like that. So you can make this your main carry. The benefits of the Bodyguard are definitely that sight picture. You get a textured rear with a orange outline front, tritium sight that glows like absolute crazy. So really nice. Has a pretty decent finish. Not as nice as the Glock. Comes with great mags that are pretty widely available, as are all these. But yeah, everything functions on this handgun really well. Every control, and it's actually really nice. It is a little harder to rack compared to the Glock 42 and the LCP Max. So that one would be one of the downsides to the Bodyguard. But the trigger is awesome. This has the best trigger out of all of them. That's first trigger pull, reset. I mean, these are pocket pistols, guys. Remember the Bodyguard original and original LCP and stuff like that? I mean, these are great triggers. And this is probably sitting at 4.5, 5 pounds. This one in particular is really, really light. Last but not least, the Ruger LCP Max. Has a great finish, but in 75th edition, which is what this is. The other editions have a lot of rusting issues, and for a pocket pistol, that can be a problem. But these come with great sights as well. Textured rear with a front sight that's tritium, really bright. I like these sights, honestly, the best. So really nice job by Ruger going with those sights. This is the easiest to rack for your hands. If you have hands like I do that, I work all day and my hands are in pain, and I'm always struggling with them, this is a relief. After just racking these two, especially if you're racking around in the chamber, Glock's not terrible, but that Bodyguard is, you wish it was a little bit lighter. This, not bad at all. Like, for instance, for my mom and stuff, she wouldn't want to carry this. She wouldn't want to train with this at the range because of how much, force you have to pull back with. And that's not a big deal for a lot of people to just get a different handgun. And that's where something like a Ruger LCP Max comes in. The LCP Max is pretty good texturing. This is like the budget version of the Bodyguard 2.0, right? It's just not, it doesn't have as many features, but it's still a great handgun. And honestly, what do I carry more? I carry my LCP Max. I don't know why it is. I just like it. The trigger fits my finger really well. Reset. Actually is the shortest reset out of them all. It just has a little bit more of a cheaper feel to it, but still awesome. The LCP Max has a lot to offer, and that's why I carry my LCP Max more. So if you have a Glock 42, should you upgrade? I'm not going to lie, guys. These are some great defensive pistols. The capacity can't be beat. And for the extra capacity, I do think it's worth the upgrade. Now, if you could have them all, that's the best way to go. But if you have a Glock 42, I would say just keep it, work some more overtime, and upgrade to one of these. The capacity is the big game changer for these, especially if it's your main. It is 380 at the end of the day, and especially in winter time and cold weather and layers that people are wearing, you will struggle to get that 380 to penetrate and do its job and get any stopping power out of that round. Therefore, that's why I do like going with Underwood Extreme Defenders as well. The more capacity, the better. The LCP Max, in my opinion, is the best for the money. People are buying these right now for $250 on PSA. The 75th edition model, you can't beat that. That's where the Ruger really shines. It has the capacity, it has a great trigger, has awesome sights, all that for $250, and you get the stainless slide, which is basically very hard to get rust on it. This is my go-to. All have been reliable as well. The Bodyguard is probably the best out of all of them. The Bodyguard is just, it's everything in one package. Now, is it the best by much? No, I wouldn't say so. It's a really solid handgun, shoots really well, just does a good job at everything, plus has capacity. But for $400, it makes it a little bit more expensive than the Ruger, and sometimes a little bit more expensive than the Glock 42. And with the Glock 42, you're basically paying for Glock reliability. And it's that peace of mind. It's when you leave, I know my handgun's going to defend me. If my wife is carrying my Glock 42, I know she will be just fine if she has to use it, because we will not be having any issues with it. So they each come with a benefit. Glock has always been my go-to peace of mind handgun. Smith & Wessons, I love them as well. I carry a lot of Smith & Wessons. LCP Max is currently what's getting the most out of my carry rotation. And that's because I think I shoot it the best. And I don't know what it is, if it's those sights or that trigger. But once again, in self-defense, you're not going to be lining up and sitting there like, okay, where's my target at? That's not how it is in self-defense. You're pulling out your you're doing your thing. So overall, All three are great guns. I wouldn't say you have to upgrade from your Glock 42. It does the job, but you can't beat the capacity of these and all the features. So, work some overtime. Thanks for watching, guys.